Ever since October of 2021, I've been doing this thing called Octobeni, where I would draw one Kobeni every day for the entire month of October. If you're not aware, Kobeni Higashiyama is a character from Chainsaw Man, which you may or may not know about. It's a funny little series, and I like Kobeni, she's really funny too. Usually on November 1st, following Octobeni, I would make a thread on Twitter that compiles all my drawings for the past month, but this year I'm like, let me make a video, why not? So yeah, this video will be me looking over every Kobeni I drew, what led to them being drawn, and well, my general inspirations as a whole. So I hope you guys enjoy. Day 1 is relatively simple. For the past 2 years, I would just draw a Kobeni in like a tank top doing a peace sign. It made more sense during the second Octobeni because, you know, year 2. So for year 3, I had her holding up basically Wario fingers. If I was smart and planned ahead, I probably would have had her pointing up one finger for Octobeni 1. But to be honest, I didn't really expect Octobeni to ever go anywhere past the first iteration, so well, what can you do? It's also like fun to draw the same Kobeni every year because it kind of shows like how far I've come as an artist in terms of like not only how I draw Kobeni, but just like in general how I draw. Compared to the first one having a really snatched waist for some reason, she looks a lot more modest here, and I'm more of a fan of how I draw her currently. Day 2 of Octobeni had me drawing her in the outfit that Bocchi wore in Bocchi the Rock, specifically her little tracksuit and skirt. Both Chainsaw Man and Bocchi the Rock got anime adaptations around the same time last year, with one of them going on to receive like insane praise and widespread acclaim across the entire world, and the other one was Chainsaw Man. Yeah, nah, I don't care what anyone says, I love the Chainsaw Man anime, but it is insane how much Bocchi blew up, which I think it deserved. Bocchi is great, I love Bocchi. And I thought that Kobeni and Bocchi were very similar in terms of being just balls of anxiety, so I figured, okay, let me draw Kobeni in Bocchi's outfit. Sometimes, like, that's all you need. Day 3 had Kobeni using her domain expansion. Now for this one, I made an attempt at Gege Akutami's art style, as you could tell with like the fingers and hands being really detailed, but then the face isn't as sketchy as how Gege draws and lines faces, because I really cannot do that. My art is relatively clean in terms of the line art, and I tried imitating Gege, but I fell flat, I think. But I am happy with the background. I literally just took the brush I always use and made it large and put a couple of dots, and bada bing bada boom, it looks kind of like a starry night sky. I love Jujutsu, as you could guess. I did a bunch of Jujutsu drawings for Octobeni this year, which is really funny. I'll talk about those when they come around. Day 4 is when I begin the album redraws. I did a bunch of those last year and the year before. I love doing album redraws. This one specifically is Bu Iki Kaesu by Maximum the Hormone. For this one specifically, I remember contemplating giving Kobeni that same halo of thorns that Makima had during the latter portion of Chainsaw Man, but I think Makima is going to hell and Kobeni might be going to heaven, so I gave her a normal halo. I still have not forgiven Maximum the Hormone for not releasing the full version of Chainsaw Man Ending 3. That one is my favorite, and I think Maximum the Hormone better release that one or else. Day 5 of Octobeni was me coping with the fact that Dungeon Meshi ended in September, so I just drew Kobeni dressed as Marcel from Dungeon Meshi. I think Marcel and Kobeni are both very funny fail girls, and I think Marcel is a little more insane, which I won't spoil why, but if you read Dungeon Meshi, then you may think so too. Both of them have issues to say the least, but they're both very fun to watch. The food Kobeni's eating here is a very specific reference to the final chapter of Chainsaw Man. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I kind of reused the idea of like someone eating the final meal of Chainsaw Man because in Maki March of 2022, I drew Makima doing the same thing, which has weirder implications, but don't worry about that. Day 6, so you might have seen it going around, Kagurabachi has become a large meme within the anime community. It's not bad, it's generally not bad. I've been reading it since the manga dropped. I've been really enjoying it, and I hope it does well in Shonen Jump, despite how Shonen Jump tends to be. And as you can guess, and you can see with your eyes, this Kobeni had her withdrawing her knife, or unsheathing her knife rather, in the style of the protagonist of Kagurabachi, Chihiro, drawing his blade. I would love to do a video on Kagurabachi, but it needs more time to cook in the oven before I can fully give it a taste test. But I think this latest batch of manga from Shonen Jump, being Kagurabachi, Mama Yu Yu, and 2 on Ice, are probably the best batch of manga introduced to Jump this year. Like, I could say that easily. I hope the 3 of them do well. Now, day 7 of Octobeni had me redraw the album art of All of Me by Masayoshi Takanaka. There's a general rule of thumb when it comes to YouTube where if you're recommended a Japanese album, you need to listen to it because it's going to change your life. And I know for a fact a lot of people have been recommended this video by Takanaka, and everyone without fail always comments about how this album changed their life. So this gave me a fun excuse to draw like an island and sea and the clouds too, which I'm really proud of how the clouds came out. Plus, like, it's nice to draw Kobeni being happy for once, if I'm being honest. I like drawing her happy in general. Yet I say that, but then day 8 of Octobeni is based off Hikaru Utada's bad mode, where Kobeni is just kind of cross and she's just kind of staring at you while a little Denji is running in the background. So for this one, I did want to have Kobeni's little brother running, but I think if I put Kobeni's brother, he wouldn't have been as recognizable from the back as a little Denji. Because in Chainsaw Man, we have a point of reference of how Denji looked like as a child, compared to Kobeni's brother, who we have no idea how he looked like as a kid. I don't know, like I always saw Kobeni and Denji as having like a big sister little brother relationship, compared to how Power and Denji have like a sibling relationship where they're both around the same age. That's just me. I always saw it that way. I mean, you can see it otherwise. It's up to you. It's up to interpretation. But that's how I always saw it. This one was fun to draw. I distinctly remember trying to get the perspective done right, and I think I did a good job. I genuinely think I did, and I like how I used the color palette of just the kind of softish, like a mahogany type deal going on with like her sweatsuit and then like the walls and stuff. I'm proud, okay? Let me toot my own horn. Day 9 is so stupid, but I'm sure everyone has been seeing those Mega Man J-Eazy videos, and I made this one the day before the new Chainsaw Man chapter dropped. So I just took the photo of the mall that J-Eazy was in, and I just drew Kobeni doing the stupid pose, and it's fun. Sometimes inspiration comes from like the stupidest of things, and one of the fun things about Octobeni is like I could draw her in like situations that are like relevant at the time. Day 10 gave us another Jujutsu Kaisen redraw, with this one being based on chapter 67 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which had a young Geto and Gojo stanced up. Every time we get a new Jujutsu chapter, I would post this one image with the caption, "Even on the coldest nights, we keep the block hot." This photo of Geto has been my icon on all my social media for like the past 2 years, so I just wanted to pay homage to it. It's one of my favorite drawings by Akutami, and it's one of my favorite arcs in like anything. Plus, it gives me an excuse to like post this image every time a new Chainsaw Man chapter comes out. And it gives me an opportunity to draw Kobeni with Denji again, because I love drawing these two together. Day 11, I actually drew while I was in the hospital. My dad got sick, but this one is based off of Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. Of Tyler's new work, I'd say Igor is probably my favorite, followed by Flower Boy, followed by this one. It's not bad, this one's not bad in the slightest, but I just like Igor a lot. With this one, I had a lot of fun just writing a bunch of stupid stuff on her license, like it being issued in Shibuya on October 31st, 2018. Again, if you know, you know, but if you follow this channel, you probably know. For day 12, I just wanted to have fun and just draw a very simple Kobeni where she's cosplaying as Coco from Witch Hat Atelier. I wasn't even trying to go for the pun of like Coco Benny, I just wanted to draw Kobeni as a witch because I thought it'd be really cute. I love Witch Hat Atelier and like Dungeon Meshi. I made a video where I talked about both of them, as both of them are done by female mangaka, and I made a video talking about them and Dorohedoro and Blue Period. So go watch that if you get the chance. But yeah, that's really my main motivation for this piece. I want to draw Kobeni as a witch, and well, here we go. Every now and then when I'm doing one of these like monthly challenges, the stars align and I get a cool date. So in this case, October 13th was Friday the 13th, so I drew Kobeni in Camp Crystal Lake while Jason Voorhees is hounding after her. I tried drawing her in the outfit of one of the main characters from Friday the 13th, but it just kind of looks like Kobeni's just wearing jeans and like a dress shirt, which isn't too far off from what she usually wears, but whatever. The way the motion blur worked on Jason's face kind of looks like he's grimacing, which is kind of funny. Plus, I like how I drew Kobeni's expression here. I'm very proud of how far I've come when it comes to Kobeni art. Alright, now this one I think is my favorite this year. It is day 14, and I based it off the album art of More Than Words by Hitsuji Bungaku. I know this is yet another Jujutsu Kaisen one, but I am so proud of how this one came out. I think, like, it's the lighting and Kobeni's expression and just, I don't know, so many things about this one I look back on and I am just so proud of how this one came out. And I think of all the Kobenis I've ever drawn, this is the one that has the closest face that looks like how Fujimoto draws Kobeni in the manga. No one ever asked this, but part of the reason why I never color in Kobeni's eyes is because I base how she looks off of how she looked like in the manga prior to the anime being announced. That's also why if you look at old Kobeni art, I always drew her with black hair, even though I'm pretty sure color pages had her with brown hair. I just figured that the black fitted her more. But with Octobeni 2 onwards, I started giving her, brunette hair, and I think it looks great, and I am proud, and I am going to gloat. Day 15 was more of a simple one, but it basically had Kobeni with my cockatiel Ichigo. Sometimes in the backgrounds of my videos, you can hear rattling or something going on, and it's usually Ichigo climbing around her cage, even though it's well past her bedtime. Her and Vanilla are just little beings of torment, but I love them both a lot, which is why I keep them in my room in the first place. So yeah, I drew this Kobeni with Ichigo because I was having a really bad day, and Ichigo flew out of her cage to make sure I was okay, and that's when I realized, you know what? Life is pretty good, I think. In a similar comforting vein, the next Kobeni was her on the couch watching one of her favorite movies. Drive by Ryan Gosling. I know he didn't make the movie, but he is the movie, come on. The other year, I ended up drawing Kobeni in a Drive jacket, and that was also fun too. I like the mischievous face I put on the Pochita slippers. They know something that we don't. Day 17 happened to coincide with the release of Sonic Superstars, which I still don't have, but I wanted to draw Kobeni doing the Sonic Adventure pose, because I love that pose, and I love Sonic, and I thought it'd be cute to have Kobeni in that pose. Plus, I will take any excuse to not only draw the specific pose, but also to draw Kobeni happy, because I think we all deserve that. Day 18 was another album redraw. This time it was Drunk by Thundercat, which I have not listened to in a hot minute. The one regret I have with this one is I feel as though I made the water a little too purple compared to the original image, where it's kind of like that blue gradient into the reflective sunlight, but in my drawing I ended up making it like purple into like violet. I don't think it came out bad. I ended up using the same font that was used in the original album, so I'm proud of that, but I think I could have done better with the water. I do like, if you want to know what I ended up doing for the reflection, I just took the colors of the original Kobeni, and I flipped it vertically, and I just smushed it around, and there you go, that's a reflection. Day 19 saw me drawing Kobeni as Hexmaniac from Pokemon. I wanted to specifically draw her how Hexmaniac looks in the games, which is like, not curvaceous and not super busty, just kind of plain. I think there's something fine about that, there's something fine with just plain woman with normal proportions that aren't, like, humongous. I'm not very consistent with how I draw Kobeni's faces, if I'm being honest, but this one specifically looks very different from how I usually draw her faces, which is fine. I think it looks nice. I gave her a little lip gloss, and I also gave her nail polish, too. Sometimes simpler is better, and that goes for, like, anything, really. Now, day 20 happened to coincide with the release of Spider-Man 2 on PS5, which I am currently playing through, and I am having a blast. So, I wanted to draw Kobeni dressed as Spider-Gwen, which is Spider-Grobeni? I don't even know how to even make that a pun. And Spider-Gwen is not even in the game, but I still wanted an excuse to just draw Kobeni in this outfit. So far, the game's been really fun. It hasn't moved me yet, but I'm waiting for it to move me. I just got the symbiote suit, so hopefully it does. Day 21 was a simple Kobeni where I pretty much redrew that scene from Oppenheimer where Oppie is just kind of staring off in the distance realizing what he did. I think this Kobeni paired really well with the Barbie Kobeni I drew back in July. I didn't do Barbenheimer because I didn't have time, but I ended up watching both Barbie and Oppenheimer on separate days, and I loved them both. Both were excellent films. In day 22, I drew Kobeni as Ashley Graham from Resident Evil 4 because RE4 Remake dropped earlier this year, which kind of pains me to say because it feels as though this year lasted an eternity. Man, let me ramble for a bit. So, RE4 did not need to be remade. I love the remake though, the remake is great, but it could have never existed and I would have been fine. I genuinely think Code Veronica or Zero definitely deserve that remake way more than 4, so hopefully we get a remake of one of those soon, because 4 was fine as is. But that's besides the point, plus I was able to draw Denji in the corner doing a Luffy face, so that's totally fine. Day 23 had me paying homage to one of my favorite shows of all time, Twin Peaks. My wife and I got through all 3 seasons and the movie this year, and man, what an amazing show. Season 2 was definitely kinda rough, especially after the halfway point, but Season 3 and Fire Walk With Me are some of the best media I've ever watched. I know Kobeni looks kinda tall in this drawing, but maybe it's just an illusion of the Black Lodge. Don't worry about it too much. Day 24 gave us another album redraw, this one being 10,000 Gex by 100 Gex. I've been listening to this album a lot recently, and I think I like it more than 1000 Gex. I feel as though the bangers on this one are more evenly spread out, and I love Frog on the Floor. That is one of the funniest songs ever recorded. And it gave me another excuse to draw Denji with Kobeni. I did get lazy with the background. I just looked up a photo of where the original album was taken and used that as the background. So, hope you don't mind. Day 25 blew up like crazy, and all it was Kobeni giving Power a haircut. It's based on, yet again, another Jujutsu Kaisen image, specifically a drawing of Choso giving Toto a fade. It is one of my favorite images of all time. I have it on a t-shirt, and I want to pay homage to it because I genuinely love the energy imbued by this drawing. I am very proud of how I drew Power's face. She looks so content with whatever is going on right now. And on the opposite end of the spectrum was day 26, which had me trying to imitate Naoki Urasawa's art style, specifically because Pluto got an anime adaptation that dropped this very day. I've been so looking forward to the Pluto anime ever since it was first announced. I have all of the manga, and it's one of my favorite manga of all time. So I want to pay homage to one of my favorite mangaka, and I think I did good in the face department. It could have been better with the hands and everything, but I tried my best. The hair too, I think I could have been better with the shines, but I still think I nailed the expression at the very least. With day 27, I did another horror-themed one, this time with Kobeni getting a phone call from Ghostface, and I thought this one was fun. I really like the paneling I did here. Some people were confused as to why Kobeni was dressed like a mom, but I was basing her off of Casey from the first Scream movie. And I also just love the idea of Ghostface calling up Kobeni, hearing how meek she sounds, and just going, you know what, this is not worth it. Just the idea of Kobeni getting into these horrible situations, yet somehow making it out alive, I think that's really funny. Day 28 had me paying homage to City Slicker by Gingeroo. Yeah, it's another album redraw, but to be honest, I love using Octobeni as an excuse to redraw some of my favorite albums with Kobeni. Because a lot of times, these album arts are really creative, and they make me stretch my muscles and go outside my comfort zone. Because otherwise, I probably wouldn't be drawing Kobeni or anyone in this sort of composition. My only regret, and this really makes me upset, is I didn't cast a shadow on this specific building compared to the original album art. So every time I look at this, I get angry. That's completely my fault, but at the very least, I know better for next time. Day 29 was another album art redraw, and this time it was Crash by Charlie XCX. Now this one specifically I knew I had to do over her other album, which I like more, How I'm Feeling Now, specifically because of the context of this album art. I wanted to do this one because I thought it would be so funny to have Power's hand sticking out and Power in the rearview mirror, which I ended up doing and some people caught on, and I am very proud. And with day 30, no album redraw this time, instead a very simple Kobeni of her giving Denji a pumpkin based on Pochita. I think I might have a picture of it somewhere, but last year for Halloween, my little sister made a Pochita pumpkin, which we kept outside. It was the best, until it rained and then it fell apart and it looked kind of manic, but it's okay. I purposefully made this one simple, to make a room for the final Kobeni of Octobeni 3, which was based on the music video of Shin Takarajima by Sakana Action. Sakana Action is one of my favorite bands of all time, and Shin Takarajima is one of my favorite songs of all time, so I figured I'd pay homage to both at the same time. This one was genuine hell to sketch, line, color, all of that, especially given how many characters are in this drawing, but I am so glad and so proud of how this came out. It was not as bad as the Asian Kung Fu Generation one I drew last year, but it was still pretty grueling to say the least. But with that, I completed Octobeni, and I am very, very proud with how everything ended up turning out. So, every time I've done Octobeni, it's been a very trying period of my life, to say the least. Octobeni 2021, I was having car issues and also starting graduate school, and it was a mess. Octobeni 2022 had me juggling not only doing all these daily drawings, but also writing my master's thesis. And this year's Octobeni was my first time juggling a 9 to 5 and helping out my family and going to the gym and try to do art, and oh my god, it was hell. That's also why there weren't really many videos in September and October, because I was preparing for Octobeni all this time. It was very time consuming, but I'm glad. I'm really glad I did it. It's legit like going to the gym for me, where it's like you gotta force yourself to do it, but once you're actually there, you're like, oh, I'm glad I actually came. Will I do Octobeni 4? I mean, maybe, never say never, but I'm hoping I can. I'm hoping the circumstances are better for Octobeni 4 at the very least. But I hope this video is sufficient, and I hope this video made you go, wow, this guy makes these videos and he also draws? That's pretty cool. I love you all. Thank you guys for being patient and for watching to the end. Let me read off my patrons and thank them all too. Thank you to Daiko, Dominos, Arachne S2, Folkpunk, Megidodine, Sunmene, Siragnol, Big Boot Goddamn, Polaroid Jack, Sarah Lolita, Borpolis Vunny, Real Settery, Loose, Vento, Sea Grounds, Kiwi Kiwi, V, Andrew, Braystar, Amateramitsu, Logan, Sianaru, and Jiva. You guys are the best, whether you're a patron or not. I still love you all, and I hope you guys have a great one. Next video, we're going back to manga. It's been a hot minute. I gotta talk about some strange manga, because boy, have I found some strange manga. I'll see you guys next time. You all take it easy.